Hey guys, it's Beginnings here. I hope you guys are having a wonderful weekend so far. A question I get asked frequently is, what is your favorite support? So I figured I'd make a video on it. Sephera is probably by far my favorite support to play right now, and she's so good into solo queue. You'll see this game here is a solo queue game. I have 2 diamonds and 2 masters on my team. I'm the only conqueror. I don't know about the enemy team. I don't recognize any of their names, but it's definitely possible they have a few masters or conquerors. So why is Sephera so good? She is a carry support, right? She builds semi-tanky. You'll see I go Ring of the Fiend, Tomb of the Reaper, Frostcape, Aegis, and then Revive. That is a fairly tanky build, but you'll see I do so much damage because I get so ahead. So another reason why she's really good, especially right now, is because she kind of counters melee supports. She's really good into lumber, into teamy. She's okay into Baldum. Early game, he can kind of bully her, but after that, it's Sephera has free reign. She can kite him indefinitely, and she absolutely destroys Arum. I saw the Arum pick, and I almost immediately chose Sephera, but it turned out to be Arum side lane because they picked Chognar for our Darcy. Right now, just poking out all of the enemies that I can. You see Arum got pretty low there. I hit Kali a few times. I'm going to rotate down to try to help out this Elsu, but it turns out he doesn't need my help at all. He manages to get first blood. Elsu is pretty strong level 1, especially against melees, because he can almost guaranteed land a snipe. Right now we're just sitting around where our jungler's jungle pathing is going to end. And that is so we have control over that side of the map. Just again, making sure to create some space. Kali walks right into us. I managed to get a pretty good stun. She takes tons of damage, and we will manage to secure this kill with a pretty good dive. Darcy landed a pretty good first ability there, and Rourke managed to follow it up with a stun. We know that they are around here, so we're not going to go too aggressive. The jungler is Slim, so he has a fairly weak early game. We have Rourke, Darcy, Sephera. Our early game is very strong, and if we snowball this correctly, it is definitely a free game. We managed to secure the first dragon. You can see I was just kind of zoning off the Slims, and I had to trust the Rourke to land his punish. Darcy managed to get a really good ult onto the Kali. I hit 4 off of the minions dying, so I know for a fact that we can dive this, but we do not need to because this Darcy is actually pretty good at landing abilities, and between me and him both having the dragon's buff, we are doing a ton of damage. I start rotating down because I see Elsu's kind of low, and there's 2 in the lane. They do back off, so I'm not going to take any of his XP. I really don't need to. Just going to kind of scope out their jungle and potentially stop their rotations. And we do run into the Ryoma and get a pretty nice kill onto him. And Chognar thinks he's going to kill me, but I know he's low on mana, so he can't really do much after his ultimate is gone. Darcy tries to get an ult onto the Kali, but she's just a little bit too fast. I ping retreat because I definitely need to reset, and taking disadvantaged fights on the map is generally a pretty bad idea. We're barely touching top lane this game. Rourke's doing a pretty good job of camping this mid and bot side, and I think that's a pretty good idea right now, especially when Dragon is bot. It definitely gives you more of an advantage, being able to end your rotation in the jungle on Dragon side. Ryoma, I guess, just wasn't looking at the map or something and was chasing down the Elsu, really wanted to kill. We will manage to get a kill onto the Chognar as well. Rourke was pretty thirsty for that, and because they both died, we will manage to get this tower. You can see Dragon is spawning in 10 seconds, which is why we ganked bot about that time. Slims shows top. I'm going to go ahead and go up to potentially help defend while they do Dragon. Rourke honestly probably should have just done the dragon with the Elsu. I could have helped the Crush defend. For some reason, the RM does not dive it. They definitely could have secured that kill and also that tower, but they don't. Slims murders his RM here. I'm just gonna go ahead and pop my ult as soon as I'm out of the RM ult, and I will just go ahead and back away after I see that we aren't going to be winning this fight necessarily. Slims does die to Rourke. Chognar gets pretty caught out between our Elsu and our Darcy, and Darcy lands a really good explosion bomb thing, I don't know what you want to call it, and we do manage to pick up that kill with our first ability following him. Chognar dies, Kali dies top as well, and we will manage to secure this mid tower. You can see the impact that we are having on this map, just rotating everywhere. I'm 305. I have 8 out of 11 kill participation right now. I'm doing tons of damage. It's like, I don't know. I actually don't know how that Ryoma lived. I think the Chognar popped heal. I didn't hear it because I was I think listening to music during this game. But yeah, unfortunately the Ryoma lives, but I think Chognar pops heal, so it's fine. I think Darcy landed an ult onto the Slims, or maybe Slims just positioned poorly, so we will manage to get a kill onto him as well. This game is just snowballing out of control. Our early game lead is definitely translating to a mid-game snowball. The Elsu lands a really nice snipe onto the Ryoma. One of the biggest downfalls actually is the fact that Sephera doesn't have very much peel. If someone's diving onto your backline, there isn't much you can do about it if they are very mobile. And one of the reasons why I picked Sephera here was because they don't have very much dive at all. All of their dive is literally just RM Ryoma, and both aren't very good at diving. They can both be kited out pretty well, especially if they're constantly slowed or stunned by Sephera. So a really good point is don't pick Sephera Support into a full dive comp if you have an ADC, if you have somebody that you need to peel for, right? But I guess if it's solo queue, you really don't care about protecting your ADC. You probably care more about carrying the game. My team wants to take a fight here, and we get a pretty good Crush ult into a Darcy ult. Unfortunately, the Darcy ult only manages to tag the RM, but we will get the kill onto her, and I will follow up this Crush on this dive. He does tank a little bit too much, and I pop my ult here. You can see to time it with that next tower shot to make sure that the Darcy did not die. Pretty good. That Slim Spear was so close. And Kali Pool does stop my recall, so I'm just going to go ahead and poke out the Slims a little bit here. You can see I'm not really afraid. I know that I can live as long as I don't get hit by a spear. Elsu lands a pretty good snipe, so I want to try to kill the Slims, but I don't quite have enough damage. My Dragon's buff did just run out. Because Dragon is spawning in 20 seconds. I think it actually expires like 30-40 seconds before Dragon next spawns. I'm actually not sure about the length on the buff. I'm just going to go ahead and reset now. I don't have really much to do on the map. My team is living in their blue buff. They're doing a pretty good job at denying the enemy farm, which is really smart. Right now, I just ping that my ultimate is ready, and then I ping the Dark Slayer because it's a pretty good time to do so. They were just on the bot side, and we have total control of the map at this point. RM is supposed to be a counter to Rourke, but Sephera is a counter to RM. So I am doing a pretty good job at making the RM useless. You can see I just kind of zone out the RM so she cannot ult the Rourke. Rourke does kill these Slims. Go ahead and pop my ult to make sure I'm healing up my team. And we do get the tower. It was pretty low. And I'm just going to go ahead and poke out and back up. We don't want to push anything here. We don't have a wave. There's nothing to really do. In fact, we probably should have left sooner. We should have just taken tower, left, and gone back for Dark Slayer. The jungler is dead. They were pretty poked out. They're not going to do anything to us. This is another downfall of Sephera, is she is pretty squishy. Even if you do build her tank, she has a pretty low maximum HP and one of the lowest in the game, and she also has one of the lowest armor bases in the game. So fairly squishy, and that's why the support item is so good on her. It gives mana regen, it gives movement speed, it gives armor, It's honestly like kind of just the perfect item for Sephera, and your damage base is pretty high already. You don't really need to commit too much AP, I guess gold for AP. So you really are just such a perfect support. It's like you're made to support. I managed to get a pretty good stun onto the Kali, and she does fall. Elsu gives me this blue buff, which is really kind of him. I think maybe he was trying to take it, and he wanted to give it to me, and I misunderstood, and then so I kind of walked away, but then he tried to take it at the same time that I decided I wanted to take it. It was kind of awkward, but that's okay. I'm just going to go ahead and clear this wave to make sure that the Drake is hitting the tower, and I'm going to rotate towards mid to help out my Elsu, and we will get a kill onto these Chognar. This Elsu is so good for being Diamond or Low Master, whatever he is. Slims thought he could trade that, but I had my ult up the entire time. I wasn't really afraid of dying. Try to stun this Rhyme a little bit so we can get some damage onto him. He does get pretty chunked, about half, and we are looking to end the game here. We already have 2 of their high grounds down, and we will manage to end the game. They have 3 dead. It's about to be 4, and yeah, free game. So yeah, Sephera, my favorite support. Super fun to play, super dominant. She manages to poke out everybody. She impacts the map, and I get MVP here. I do the 2nd most damage behind the Elsu. I have by far the highest kill participation as well. Like, she's just so much fun to play. She does tons of damage against squishies if you get ahead, and she's very satisfying. And that is my favorite support, especially for solo queue. I hope you guys enjoy, and let me know if you guys want more content like this in the future. Be sure to drop a like and subscribe, and I will see you next time. See you.